The autumn leaves crunched beneath Kira's bare feet as she ventured deeper into the human world. Her copper-colored tail swished with excitement, her pointed ears twitching at every sound. For centuries, fox spirits like her had observed humans from afar, but Kira had always been the curious one, the troublemaker who couldn't resist getting closer. She found him in a clearing where the afternoon light filtered through ancient oaks. A young man sat cross-legged on a moss-covered stone, his eyes closed in meditation. His dark hair fell across his face, and there was something different about him, a stillness that seemed almost magical. Kira's mischievous nature took over. She crept forward silently, her fox instincts making her movements soundless. In one fluid motion, she leaped onto his lap, expecting the usual human reaction, screaming, flailing, or at least a startled jump. Nothing happened. The man, whose name she would later learn was Ethan, simply opened his eyes. They were deep amber, almost golden in the fading light. He looked at her, truly looked at her, and smiled. "You're lighter than I expected," he said calmly. Kira's heart skipped. No human could see her true form unless she revealed it. Yet this man gazed directly at her ears, her tail, her otherworldly features without a trace of fear. You can see me?" she whispered, her usual confidence wavering. "I've been waiting for you," Ethan replied, his hand gently touching her arm. The contact sent an electric sensation through her entire body, something she'd never felt before. "Though I didn't expect you to be so forward." Her cheeks flushed crimson. "I wasn't being forward. I was testing you. By sitting in my lap?" His eyes sparkled with amusement. Kira scrambled off him, her tail puffed in embarrassment. "How can you see me? Are you a sorcerer?" A spirit touched. Ethan stood, and she noticed how tall he was, how his presence seemed to command the forest around them. "I'm something rarer. My grandmother was a shrine keeper who fell in love with a wandering spirit. The gift runs in my blood, though it skipped my parents entirely." As he spoke, he moved closer. Kira found herself backing against a tree, her breath catching as he placed one hand beside her head, leaning in. The proximity made her pulse race. "The real question," he murmured, his voice low and intimate, "is why a fox spirit would risk revealing herself to someone she just met. Unless you felt it too." "Felt what?" Her voice came out barely above a whisper. "The pull. The connection." His free hand reached up, fingers gently brushing her hair behind one delicate fox ear. "The moment you touched me, I knew. You're the one from the prophecy, the spirit who will either save or doom us all." The revelation shook Kira to her core. She spent the next 3 days avoiding the clearing, but her thoughts constantly drifted to Ethan. His touch lingered on her skin like phantom fire. Finally, curiosity, and something deeper, drew her back. She found him at dusk, tending a small fire. This time, she approached openly, her true form shimmering in the firelight. "You came back," he said, not looking up from the flames. "I need answers." Kira sat across from him, keeping the fire between them as a barrier. "What prophecy?" Ethan's expression grew serious. 2 centuries ago, my ancestor, a shrine keeper named Hideaki, received a vision. He saw a great war between the human world and the spirit realm. At the center of this conflict stood 2 figures, a fox spirit with copper fur and a human with spirit blood. Their choice would determine whether the worlds would merge in harmony or clash in destruction. "That's insane," Kira protested. "I'm just a minor fox spirit. I play pranks on travelers and steal offerings from shrines. I'm nobody special." "Are you?" Ethan finally looked at her, and the intensity in his gaze made her breath catch. "Can you honestly say you haven't felt different lately? Haven't noticed your powers growing stronger?" She wanted to deny it, but couldn't. Her transformations had become easier, her illusions more powerful. And there were the dreams, visions of ancient battles and a realm torn between worlds. Ethan stood and walked around the fire. Kira's instinct was to flee, but she forced herself to stay still as he knelt before her. His hands cupped her face with surprising tenderness. "I've spent my entire life preparing for this moment," he said softly. "Learning the old rituals, studying spirit lore, training my abilities. But nothing prepared me for you being so." "So what?" she whispered. "Beautiful. Spirited. Real." His thumb traced her cheekbone. "The prophecy spoke of duty and fate, but it never mentioned that I might actually fall for you." Kira's heart thundered. "You barely know me. Then let me know you." He leaned closer, his forehead touching hers. "Stay with me. Let me show you what I've discovered about your past, about why you're special. And maybe, Maybe we can figure out this destiny together. She should have said no. Should have run back to the spirit realm where things made sense. Instead, she found herself nodding, her hands gripping his shirt as if he were the only solid thing in a shifting world. That night, Ethan showed her his home, a traditional house on the forest's edge, filled with scrolls and artifacts. They talked for hours, sharing stories of their lives. When exhaustion finally claimed them, Kira found herself curled against him on a pile of cushions, his arms wrapped protectively around her. As dawn broke, she woke to find him watching her, his fingers gently stroking her tail. "This feels impossible," she murmured. "The best things usually do," he replied, pulling her closer. 3 weeks passed in a blur of discovery. Ethan taught Kira about the prophecy's origins, while she showed him the hidden pathways between worlds. Their days were filled with research and training. Their nights grew increasingly intimate. One evening, as rain pattered against the windows, they sat together studying an ancient text. Kira leaned against Ethan's chest, his arms around her waist as they deciphered the cryptic passages. "Here," she pointed to a symbol. "This mark appears in my dreams." Ethan tensed. "That's the seal of convergence. It's said to appear when the barriers between worlds begin to weaken." His lips brushed her ear as he spoke. "Kira, when do you see this in your dreams?" She shivered at his proximity. "Every night for the past month." "Why?" Instead of answering, Ethan turned her to face him. His hands slid up her arms, over her shoulders, cradling her neck. "I need to check something. Trust me." At her nod, he leaned in and kissed her deeply. Kira gasped against his mouth as warmth spread through her body, but it was more than passion. Golden light began emanating from where their bodies touched, growing brighter with each passing second. When they broke apart, both were breathing heavily. Ethan's eyes were wide with wonder and fear. "What was that?" Kira demanded. "The resonance. Our energies are synchronizing faster than expected." He stood abruptly, pacing. "The prophecy said we have until the winter solstice to make our choice, but if we're already bonding this strongly..." "Ethan, you're scaring me." He knelt before her again, taking her hands. "There's something I haven't told you. The choice the prophecy speaks of, it's not just about saving or dooming the worlds. It's personal. To prevent the war, one of us must sacrifice our nature. Either you become fully human and lose your spirit powers forever, or I must shed my humanity and become a full spirit, severing all ties to the human world." The words hit Kira like a physical blow. That's impossible. You're asking me to give up everything I am." "Or I give up everything I am," he countered. "And there's a third option the texts hint at, one that requires..." He couldn't finish. Kira felt tears streaming down her face. "What? What does it require?" "Complete union. A binding so deep that we become something new. Neither fully human nor fully spirit, but both. It's never been attempted because the ritual is dangerous. If it fails, we die," Kira finished. Ethan pulled her into his arms, holding her as she trembled. "We have time. We'll find another way." But even as he spoke, they both felt the pull growing stronger. The invisible threads binding them together tightening with each shared breath, each touch, each moment spent in each other's presence. The peace they'd found shattered when Akane arrived. Kira sensed her elder sister before she appeared, a disturbance in the spirit realm that made her fox ears flatten instinctively. The elegant nine-tailed fox materialized in Ethan's garden, her silver fur gleaming with otherworldly beauty. "So it's true," Akane said, her violet eyes fixed on Kira. "You've been consorting with a human. How far you've fallen, little sister." "Akane," Kira started, but her sister cut her off. "The Spirit Council has noticed the disturbances. They know about the prophecy, and they've made their decision. You are to return immediately and undergo purification to sever any bonds with the human world." Ethan stepped forward, positioning himself partially in front of Kira. "She's not going anywhere." Akane laughed, a sound like tinkling bells laced with ice. "How sweet. The half-blood thinks he can protect her. Do you even understand what you're asking her to sacrifice? If Kira stays with you, she becomes a traitor to her kind. Every spirit in the realm will hunt her." "Then they'll have to go through me," Ethan said firmly. Something in his voice made Akane pause. She studied him more closely, her eyes widening. "You've already begun the bonding ritual. You fools. Do you have any idea what you've done?" Kira grabbed Ethan's hand, their fingers intertwining. She felt their energies pulse in response, that golden warmth they'd discovered weeks ago. "We're finding our own path. There is no other path." Akane's composure cracked. The only bonding ritual strong enough to bridge both worlds requires the couple to. She stopped, her expression shifting from anger to something almost like pity. You haven't completed it yet, have you? Kira's cheeks burned. They'd shared kisses, intimate moments, but had always stopped short of full union. Partly from uncertainty, partly from fear of accelerating whatever was happening between them. Akane sighed. Listen to me carefully. If you complete the bonding before the solstice, there's no going back. You'll be bound for eternity, not just in this life, but across all lifetimes. And the transformation, it's agonizing. You'll literally be torn apart and remade into something new. How long do we have? Ethan asked. 3 weeks until the solstice. After that, the barriers between worlds will be at their weakest. If you haven't made your choice by then, the Spirit Council and the human order will make it for you. They'll seal the realms completely, and anyone caught on the wrong side. She looked at Kira sadly. You'd be trapped in the human world, powerless. Or he'd be imprisoned in the spirit realm, slowly fading away. After Akane left, Kira and Ethan sat in heavy silence. Finally, Ethan spoke. We could run. Find somewhere neither realm could reach us. There's nowhere like that, Kira whispered. Ethan, maybe we should. He turned her face toward him, his kiss desperate and fierce. Don't say it. Don't even think about leaving me. But if staying means, then I'll face it. I'll face anything as long as we're together. His hands slid into her hair, tilting her head back. Kira, these past weeks with you have been more real, more alive than my entire life before. Whatever we have to become, whoever we have to fight, it's worth it. That night, they held each other close, the weight of their impossible choice pressing down on them as the days until solstice dwindled away. The winter solstice arrived with unexpected warmth. Ethan had prepared the ritual space in the clearing where they first met, a circle of sacred stones and spirit flowers that bloomed only at the intersection of realms. Kira stood at the circle's edge, her heart racing. Representatives from both worlds had gathered. Her sister Akane and the Spirit Council on one side, Ethan's mentor and members of the human order on the other, all waiting to see what choice they would make. We don't have to do this, Ethan whispered, taking her hand. We can choose one of the other paths. Kira looked at him, really looked at him. Over the past months, he'd become her anchor, her home. The thought of him becoming a spirit and losing the humanity that made him who he was felt wrong. But the thought of becoming human herself, of never feeling the wind beneath her tails or the magic singing in her blood, was equally unbearable. There's only one choice we can make, she said softly. The one we make together. Understanding dawned in his eyes. He nodded, and together they stepped into the circle. The ritual required complete vulnerability. Ancient words were spoken, sacred symbols drawn. As they stood face to face, Kira reached up and slowly removed the spiritual beads that kept her powers contained. Ethan, in turn, removed the talisman his grandmother had given him to suppress his spiritual nature. The moment both barriers fell, energy exploded around them. Kira gasped as Ethan pulled her close, his lips finding hers with desperate intensity. This was different from their previous kisses. This was the beginning of true union. Golden light and silver fire intertwined as their essences began to merge. Kira felt herself dissolving and reforming simultaneously. It was indeed agonizing, as Akane had warned, every cell being unmade and rewoven with Ethan's. But through the pain came ecstasy, a pleasure so intense it bordered on transcendent. She felt his memories flooding into her. Childhood loneliness, the weight of destiny, the moment he first saw her and knew his life would never be the same. And she knew he felt hers, centuries of mischief and wandering, the emptiness she'd never acknowledged, the completeness she found in his arms. Their bodies pressed together as the magic intensified. Kira's hands gripped Ethan's shoulders, feeling his warmth and strength even as they both became something neither human nor spirit, something entirely new. The ritual reached its crescendo. Light erupted from the circle, so bright that even the assembled witnesses had to shield their eyes. When it finally faded, silence fell over the clearing. Where two beings had stood, now there was still two, but different. Ethan's hair now held streaks of silver white, and his eyes gleamed with foxfire. Kira's appearance had subtle human features, freckles across her nose, a warmer skin tone, but her tails and ears remained, now shimmering with golden light. But the most striking change was invisible to the eye. They could feel each other's presence like a heartbeat, their souls forever intertwined. They were still themselves, yet inseparable. Akane stepped forward, her expression unreadable. Then slowly she smiled. You've created a new path. Neither sacrifice nor destruction, but transformation. You've become the first dual walkers, beings who exist fully in both realms. The implications rippled through both councils. Instead of war, this showed a possibility of true coexistence. As the witnesses dispersed, some angry, others awed, Ethan pulled Kira close. No regrets. She looked up at him, her mate, her other half. Not a single one. They sealed their bond with a kiss, knowing their journey was just beginning. As the first dual walkers, they would face challenges from both worlds. But they would face them together, two hearts beating as one, two souls forever entwined, proving that love could indeed bridge any divide. In the clearing where a mischievous fox girl had once sat on a mysterious young man, destiny had been rewritten not through sacrifice, but through the courage to choose something unprecedented. Each other, completely and eternally.